Hi everyone, welcome to Amaranth. These are general messages for the collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter placements. Let's get into it. So the first card you have, Gemini, for today is the Soul Triangle. And for the it says mystical, soul-led and harmony. And if you see in the backdrop, there is represented spiritual leaders from different faiths, different religion, and they're all standing together. They're all gathered here together in the triangle, which is there in the background. It's like all of them are at the same altar. And over here, the two planets that have been highlighted are Mars, and then there is Uranus. And I cannot tell you how beautifully aligned this energy is with your collective Gemini archetype at this point in time, because you are hosting Uranus already, and Uranus is here to stay for a long time, 7 to 8 years, and it is actually a little bit of a lightning board kind of a presence, which means that especially for your sign, which is an air sign. You are the mutable air sign. So mutable air signs are fast moving in their thoughts because you're ruled by Mercury. So fast ideas, lightning board ideas, something very unique, something very different, something radical, something groundbreaking, path-breaking, innovative. All of those keywords are very true to the presence of Uranus, and especially in the mutable air sign, that's adaptable, that's past thinking. So, and also now you have the energy of Mars, and Mars is entering your sign very, very soon. So this energy is already showing up for you, Gemini. Now Mars is a fast-moving hot planet, red planet, right? And it is known as the warrior of the zodiac. So it's a little aggressive. So you will need to learn how to balance that energy. When Mars is conjunct with Uranus in your sign, that's an explosive energy out there. That's a fast-moving energy. So you will have to really watch what you're saying, because you will feel like saying and doing a lot. Mars gives that forward drive, the energy, the sometimes recklessness, sometimes a little bit of harshness. Now, if you see these two planets, the two circles on the tree of life, they are connected to a yellow golden circle, which is the soul, which is higher consciousness, which is discipline, which is also heart space, harmony, and all of those good things. So here I feel for you, Gemini, this is about balancing two different sides of your personality, because you, the archetypal Gemini is duality. It's a principle of duality, which means two different sides. And you already know that, two different sides of your personality. And with the presence of Mars and Uranus, you will have to balance out a lot. You'll have to find the middle ground. Taking extremes is going to be dangerous for you. So you will need to, balance out, because this is an energy of balancing, the harshness and the goodness for the highest good of all. Like having, mercy and justice at the same time. Like, for example, if you were just, acting from a place of mercy without justice, then that's not the right way to go, right? I mean, the person who did wrong needs to be corrected, course corrected. And if you're just like mercy, there's no course correction, then that's dangerous. On the other side, if it's just harshness and justice and there's no mercy, then that's cruelty. That's what these two circles in this picture, in this diagram, are indicating to you, that you will need to take a middle ground. You will have to walk the path which is connected to your higher self, which is connected to the heart space, being compassionate with people, and also having your own boundaries. Like, you cannot just, lose yourself in people or be people-pleasing all the time. But at the same time, respect for others, making decisions and saying things that come from a balanced perspective, from a compassionate space, from your heart space. and also from a place which delivers the right message is going to be really important for you. So be mindful, because Mercury, your ruling planet, is going to go in retrograde. And when it goes into retrograde, it means that you will have to do the inner work, thinking about the past themes that have been unresolved in regards to communication, harshness, where you've been harsh with people. Those themes, those situations are going to come back up to you. And so Mercury in retrograde is going to force you to look back at where were you harsh, where were you not balanced, where did you not come from a space of compassion, where did you not come from a space of higher self. Those situations are definitely coming back. So Mercury is going into retrograde in the next 2 days. Pre-shadow energy has already started. So these are going to be the themes that you will need to resolve. And even going forward, you will have to be very mindful, how you speak to people. Say things that, you're coming from a very compassionate and heart-led space, from a very wise space, not from your overcharged, aggressive, reactive mental space. So you will have to balance it out. And Mars is going to give you like an urge to, just say things recklessly, but you will have to hold that back. So that's going to be a test for you, Gemini. How are you going to balance that? It's going to be the thing that you're going to learn a lot in the next 1 month. Until next month, July end is when, July's third week or something like that, Mercury goes into forward motion. Until then, 1 month, all those themes are going to play out. So, this is just a heads up for you to not get overwhelmed with those situations. So you will need to lead from a very soulful space. Also, there are chances that because of your groundbreaking ideas, people will recognize you for your unique ideas. And for that reason, you might be stepping into leadership roles because of the grand ideas that you're going to have. So there also you will need to ensure that you say and do things, align your actions with higher values, not just the smartness that a Mercury-led sign already has, but something which is soulful, something which is purposeful, something has a deeper meaning versus superficial numbers and superficial metrics and superficial display. So things have to be very soulfully aligned. For those of you that are, in the creative industry and not really working in office or corporate, you might end up creating something for the higher good of people. Something that is deep and meaningful. Like, for example, artists may create something which is spiritually aligned and also beautiful, that you can put it up on the walls, but also has a spiritual significance that brings a calmness to the mind. So there's going to be like a combining of spiritual higher self values and the outwardly things that you do, for your living or for your hobbies. There's going to be purpose and meaning into whatever you create. Again, even with the relationships, you've got to be finding that balance, right? If there are things that you did wrong, then it's a good opportunity. A window opens up for you to kind of bridge the gap or to reach out or to ask for forgiveness. But at the same time, there's also got to be a certain level of boundary that you don't lose yourself in those things. So the healing, if it needs to happen, it's a good opportunity. But the healing in a balanced way. So yeah, it's a good energy out here, Gemini, but you will need to work consciously towards maintaining this balance. Now, if this is not your energy, you will probably see it playing out in the environment around you, whether it's at your corporate level, home, neighborhood, or political, or at a global level, where there's reconciliation, for the higher good of humanity. There are countries, with the geopolitical situations out there, there is like people are trying to come to middle ground, find the balance, find the harmony, find the peace and peace treaties, with conditions that are compassionate and balanced and, good for the betterment of the humanity. So, people are coming from that space now. And even if you see there is this triangle, this beagle of all faiths, and the underlying, the underlying sentiment is the same across all faiths, across all communities. The soul principles remain the same. And we see that, there is interfaith Zen spaces and meditation spaces that are being made available to people of all communities across the globe, across the world. It's just recognizing that soul values remain the same. The triangle, the point, remains the same. And this energy is also visible in today's changing piece. People are preferring to connect with nature, connect with Zen spaces, meditate, and people of all faiths coming together to achieve that balance, inner peace, through architecture, through connection with nature, through spending time in nature or by the water bodies, or bringing those elements into their home spaces, so that the living is more soulful versus just for display and insta. Insta life and real life, there's a huge difference, and I feel that this energy bridges the gap. So in your things, in your conversations, every time you want to say something and urge to react fast, you need to ask yourself the question, is this a kind thing to say and do? Is this something, a wise thing to say and do? Is this something which rule I will not regret saying, or I will not regret doing, And if you have the right answers to it, then go forward and do it and say it. But if your soul is not agreeing to it, then it's better to hold off on those, words or actions. Now, I also feel that some of you might be driven on purpose, like a soul purpose, to bridge the gap, to bridge the communities, or to bridge different worlds. Like, there's different communities, traditions. So some of you might be, having those kind of, what you call the farmer's market, or some kind of a festival where you're celebrating cultures of the blue. Some of you may be involved in those events where we are bridging the gap between different communities, and people come, socialize together, get to know each other, and learn and grow from each other, So some of you might be in that energy as well. But, I feel like a very soulful person. There's a huge transformation which is coming through this, where you're being more selective in your energy, where you invest your energy. You want to meet and talk and spend your energy on more soulful and purposeful things, in more genuine things rather than just superficial things. So there is a shift in your energy, and people are going to feel it. Just like in today's time, especially with Uranus and Gemini, there is going to breakthroughs in communication, because Gemini is the communication energy. And we have seen that, with the come up of AI and growth in that area, and there are a lot of compliances which people need to, limit themselves to, like use of ethical use of technology, ethical use for betterment of humanity, to not cause harm and damage to society, to not destruct the society by use of AI trends. So there is that energy of the soul triangle present even in the day-to-day modern day world, where there is promotion and promoting ethical use of technology and all the latest inventions, for the betterment of humanity versus destruction. So there's the soul triangle out there playing out in our daily lives. Now, some of you might also be, there is, like even in leadership positions, there is something called as a servant leadership, which is becoming really popular in corporate, where people are serving the companies, not out of ego, not for their benefit, but from a position of service to humanity, service to company, in that they make the right choices and right decisions. So it's that kind of a vibe. For those of you, you might be stepping into those leadership principles or learning about that as well. The next card you have for today, Gemini, is number 19, and it says the journey. So this is a very beautiful energy for you, and I feel it's so much suited to your personality, the Gemini personality that is all about, learning, growing, chatting, travel, adventure, spontaneity. These are all the very Gemini characteristics, and I feel this is just In addition to that, just a few subtle nuances that I pick up from this energy is this deer, this person who is sitting on this deer, and and the deer has the reins, and she has the reins in the hand. So, and the reins are not like that tight, like the horse's reins. That's the, first thing, it's a very loosely held reins, and a deer doesn't need it. I mean, it needs it, but it doesn't really need it because the deer exactly knows where it's going to go. It's just a gentle guidance that this rider is giving to this deer. And the deer is very jumpy kind of energetic, just matching the Gemini vibe. So I feel that this person, in the younger days when we used to have those wooden kind of horses and used to ride, it's that kind of a youthful energy, where you're ready to explore with open heart, open mind, and enjoying every bit of your experience, not rushing through the process, the end point or the destination is not the goal, but enjoying the journey, to where you pass is the goal. So I feel it's just that. I feel you're either traveling somewhere, and even in today's times, like the nomad, way of life and traveling, and people just live in vans, or they convert vans into their small, beautiful homes, and they travel with that. For some of you, you could be in that energy and sphere of a nomadic form of life, living in wilderness, and even Airbnbs, different unique, tailored, customized, character homes that let you enjoy the twilight and the stars and the moon, in the darkness. It's that industry. Some of you could be taking to that industry or just enjoying, and appreciating that travel industry. For some of you, this could be actually planning a trip, it could be national, international, to unique places that you have not done before, and Mars in your sign is going to give you that energy to plan trips that have been on hold or have been on your mind for quite some time. So this is like, a jump start, like, okay, let's go kind of an energy. But the only caveat with this is not before, I would say, Mercury is going to be in retrograde. So for some of you, this energy of travel can also be traveling back in time for some of you. While you travel forward also, it's an energy of you traveling forward and at the same time you traveling inward. So there are both movements in the external world as well as in the internal world. Internally, you went back in time, trying to see, the past for what it was, what you learned, what can be corrected. And at the same time, you're moving forward, in different paces and different projects. This could even be forward movement in your job changes or project changes or starting up businesses, whatever aligns with your heart and soul. These are decisions that you're going to make from the heart, from the depth, not superficially. So, and also I feel that, because like I already mentioned, Martian energy is going to make you feel impulsive because that's the nature of Mars. So you need to think it through, especially when you're signing on the dotted line, you need to definitely think it through. But yeah, there are going to be changes that you can experience. Either you start off projects or learn something or visit places. This is a journey you are, ready to take. Yeah, there is a readiness with this energy. There is a curiosity, It's like, I'm going to go and I'm going to enjoy every second of it. So it's a fully immersed experience that you're going to have, and you're going to learn and take away so much from this. Whatever you start now, you're going to get the boost of it. And Jupiter is moving into Leo, which is going to trine your house of Gemini. There is growth, there is expansion. So if you are setting up shops and businesses across the borders, there is going to be growth in that. So for some of you, this could be I've also, like in the magazines I was reading, like a lot of people want to travel, in the sense that they want to walk, want a hike, and in the wilderness, they want to climb and hike and what's that called? Things like that, where it takes a lot of walking with your backpacks. So traveling long journeys, and enjoying with groups of people is also something that, comes to mind. For some of you, that could be relevant as well. But it's like a very, adventurous and high energy where you're going to really, learn through nature, through travel. It's like when we say we travel to different cultures and continents and we pick up so much, it's that kind of an influence this energy is going to have on you. And the last card for today, Gemini, you have is a message from Cosmos, and it says, walk. Further, it says, when you feel overwhelmed by your work, stop everything for a minute and take a short walk. You can go outside, but inside is just as good. Breathing calmly, pay attention to your surroundings and your body's movements. This will take away your mind of your worries. Allowing your mind a short break decreases feelings of chaos and lowers your stress levels. You will see more clearly and you will be able to work more effectively. So yeah, walking outdoors, even the journey card you just had, so it's all part of endurance, releasing stress, stress busters. Walk is a stress buster, at any given time. And it's also good for the body in general, the health. So yeah, so just, regular walks or walks in nature is going to be of benefit to you, Gemini. So those were your messages and hope they resonated with you. Now moving on to the sign of Libra. So the first card you have for today, Libra, is 14th path. It says the Empress. Further, it says creative endeavor, nurturing, and fertility. This is so much your energy, completely your energy, Libra. You're ruled by Venus, and Empress is ruled by Venus. And if you see here, all green themes, very natural, earthy themes. This Empress is birthing something. There is a shoot inside her of her belly that she's holding, nurturing very carefully. And then there's cornfields, corn plants, and corns or cobs already that is growing on it. So fertility at the peak. Maybe you're into natural things, or maybe you're becoming a bride. This person is wearing flowers on the head. The Empress is wearing flowers on the head. There is a scepter. A lot of birthing themes, whether it's birthing kids, starting a new family. Maybe you're on your family way. This could be getting married. This could be, interest in nature, plants. You could be growing your own, produce, vegetables, flowers, or you could be spending a lot of time in nature. This is also, new projects, creativity, arts, someone who has a vision, who can see how things are going to grow. Because, see, this Empress is basically the moment when you dream about something and actually you take the steps to take care of it, to take the rights that, to put in to invest in the time and energy to nurture the dream of yours. And it takes time. It's a slow process. It requires a lot of patience. It requires a lot of understanding on how to provide that care and nurture. Right? So this is like a fully tending to it, whether it's your garden, your family, your projects, whatever this is like, things are already forming. It's not completely there yet, but you can already see it, and it's so beautifully aligned with your energy. Because right now, your ruler, Libra Venus, is entering in Leo, and Jupiter is also entering Leo. And can you believe it? The Venus-Jupiter conjunction is exactly the expansion and growth that the Empress is talking about. So this is so beautifully aligned with the current stars and the cosmic green light for you. For some of you, this could be training in any of the arts, home decorations, weddings, environmental themes, family, food, business related to beauty and, pottery, ceramics, all of those creative things, the things that you create with your hands. So that is going to be at the forefront. This could also be food business. This could be also you birthing, on your family way, or you could be into something in regards to like daycare centers, hospitality, caring and nurturing either for the old or for the young in some way. So these are themes that will play out for you. You could be investing into these areas, or you could be actively participating in these areas. But it's a very, beautiful energy out here. Things are working. It's a harvest time for you. So whatever energy you have put in, it's showing you the results. Now, some of you could be having, like I mentioned, traveling to nature, wilderness, or you could have a lot of those things around your home where you live, or you could be visiting those places, that beautiful surroundings, spending more time in the environment, which is very healing, which is nurturing to the body, which is de-stress, or which is stress buster. It removes the stress, especially when you're around nature, when you're walking in grass, taking care, growing plants. All of those are stress busters. So for a lot of you, food industry, growing plants could be at the forefront of things right now. And some of you could be restaurants or just cooking in your house, trying new dishes and recipes can also be, the heightened interest, or you're already working towards it. So the good thing is that not only will this energy allow you to build things for yourself, but also for the world, because Venusian energy, and especially for you, Libra, your 7th energy of partnerships, of people, and the world, So for some of you, this could be something in regards to the world or relationships or the people around you. You could be helping with that. You could be working with them. You could be meeting new people. You could be hooked, you could be taking the next step in your relationships. This is also financial investments being off, or financial gains to be had. If you haven't seen any as yet, this is your sign that things are working out. And things will soon, show up, will come to the surface, will be visible. The growth will be visible. And all because you have been doing it. You have been doing it with love from the heart space. That's what will grow. Things that are soulful, things that are purposeful, things that you have invested your heart and soul into. Not things that you force yourself to do, but things that actually came from your heart space. So soulful things, those are the ones that you're going to see a lot of progress and growth in. The next card you have, Libra, is number 28, and it says, "Can you hear me?" So if you see this person, she is in water, half in water, half, the below part of her dress has turned into that shell, what's that called, the conch shell, that was used in the olden times, and even today for the loud amplification of sounds, or for starting something. Can you hear me? So I feel that, and this is a water energy, definitely. There is feelings, there is emotions. You're feeling something out here, Libra, and you being the cardinal air sign, you can begin conversations. You have that inherent gift for starting conversations, and you do. You're the air sign also, which is chatty and good with communication. Here, it's a little bit contradiction to your own, archetypal energy. This is something like somebody's not hearing you out, It's like you want to be heard. Maybe you're not speaking up, or maybe you're saying it in a way that people are brushing it off, or you're unable to say it in the right way that people are paying attention to what you have to say. So there is something that you want to say your truth, your likes, dislikes. Maybe it's a situation at work and you're not liking the current style or current project, or something's bothering you and you're not able to speak up. This could be anywhere, This could be at home, whatever it is, and you are born with the gift of communication. So this is an energy. I feel that this is more like encouraging you to speak up. It could be anyone, at home or in your office, your bosses, your team. Maybe they're not paying attention to your ideas, or maybe you're not able to say it because you're afraid of something. But, this is like, say it out loud. This is encouraging you to say it out loud. There is an amplification. You will be heard. There is a conch shell out here, which means whatever you say will be amplified. And, today there are so many ways to express it. Like, why should you be even afraid of somebody who's near and dear to you? And if this is something in relation to boss, you can always, compose it in the right way, express it in a more gentle way, and put the point across. So yeah, so this is like encouraging you to go forward and speak your truth and say what you're feeling. And it could be to clarify, or it could be to, this conversation could be in regards to anything, something that you want, something that you need, something that you want to express yourself, or whatever the reason, that whatever be your reason, it's going to be different for each one of you. For some of you, this is a desire to express your heartfelt feelings. Like maybe something's going on in the world and you're like, I want to express myself through art, through books. A lot of people do that all the time. They write their own stories or something related to that, or create short movies and movies around themes or subjects that need attention, that need to be communicated to the world. For some of you, it could be that as well. So don't shy away. Don't brush your feelings away. Don't hold back again. Speak it out, because I feel the energy is available to you and also to be heard. So if you say something, if people have not been paying attention in the past, it will be paid attention to now, because there is an amplification with the conch. So even if it's a difficult conversation, go ahead and have it. Now, for some of you, this could be just, you working in the communication, helping other people, like Libra in general, the 7th house energy is of a facilitator, right? You bring people together, you bring teams together, you bring companies together, you do the writing, documenting, communicating. You could be event planners and organizers, so it could be that you have to communicate so much to a lot of people. For some of you, it could be those areas of work as well where you need to express yourself, so also I feel that Mercury is starting its retrograde already. It was in pre-shadow, so past emotions, sentiments will all come to the surface, specifically because Jupiter is heading, away from the sign or the house of Cancer, which is like, the water sign, into Leo. So, and also Mercury being in retrograde, I feel that, things of the past, themes of the past, been unresolved, unheard, unspoken, those will come to the surface for you to, given another opportunity for you to resolve it. Now, if this is in regards to your health, or people are not understanding things like that, then there are also support groups available that will that you can express yourself to, counselors and all of that. If you feel that is a need, then tap into those spaces as well. But in general, I feel that, it's just about, now, if this is in regards to your social circle, which Libra energy always focuses on, and if you feel that maybe you relocate to a different place where you don't have as yet a social connection, maybe you have relocated to a different city, different country, and you're still trying to, meet with your tribe and getting to the social groups and organizations and things like that, you should start, actively going to those places where people with your same taste and interest meet up frequently, and so that you can start up a conversation or belong to a group in those ways as well. So whatever this is in regards to communicating, So, and that's your 4th year. I don't see why this energy is here. So don't hold up anything, or don't hold back, don't bottle up anything. Just go and say it. And you say it in a way that people will hear it. Not to be rude or harsh, but there are always ways of communicating your point. And the last card you have for today, Libra, is a message from Cosmos. And it says, let go. Further, it says, close your eyes and breathe normally. On each exhale, imagine you are blowing out anxiety. And blowing out anxiety, bad feelings, stress, and tenseness from your body. The thoughts that do not serve you, leave your mind and body. If you want, you can imagine the feelings as colors as you breathe out. Do this exercise for 5 to 10 minutes. Concentrating on your breath has a calming effect, and the visualizing exercises make you feel lighter. Yeah, so I feel that the let go is something that you've been holding inside of your heart and mind, and you're not saying it, and that's causing you to feel stressed out or anxious. So the best thing is to let it out, to say it out. So when you do that, your body's going to feel lighter anyways. And if you kind of, if it's bothering you right now, you can always meditate, use these breathing exercises, and let go of fears. This can also be like fears of speaking up. So to let go of fears of speaking up, and let go of any negative thoughts about the outcomes and what's going to happen and how are you going to be received, and all of those negative thoughts can release all of that, can lead your body, mind, and soul, so that you're able to just communicate what you have to say, what you have to do, what you have to write, what you have to create. You have the Empress energy. So Empress is always in a relaxed state, always in a nurturing state. So nurture yourself, and if you are a parent, nurture your kids and families. That's what Empresses do. And also take care of yourself. Empresses also are big on self-love. So taking care of yourself and everybody around, taking it easy, doing meditation practices so that you feel lighter, less stressed out, connecting to nature, which you already are with the Empress energy. And also if you incorporate these breath work and breath breathing exercises, that will in general as a practice help you keep calm at all given times, so that nothing will stress you, no stress can touch you. So great messages here, Libra. Hope they resonated with you. Now moving on to the sign of Aquarius. So the first card you have for today, Aquarius, is the Dot, and it says knowledge. Further it says abyss, secrets, lessons yet to be realized. Okay, so this is a very interesting energy for you, Aquarius. If you see, there is a picture, Janus, and we all know about Janus, two-headed figure looking in opposite directions. There's a raven sitting right on the head, which raven is a messenger, right? It's about a communication. So the divine is trying to communicate something to you. And I feel that what you are trying, see, there is a keyhole out here in the heart chakra area, and this person Janus is holding a key to it. So there is some information that you're trying to unlock out here. It says knowledge, and over here the raven is out there communicating it to you. But I feel that the thing is, these two, the two faces of Janus is looking in two opposite directions. So I don't know if you're looking in some other direction and the information is in some other direction. So maybe you need to switch up where you're looking for information. Also, this could be about some kind of research that you are doing. It could be two-directional research, like you're researching about two different things. It could be science, it could be like you're researching for science in one place and you're researching for something else. So maybe two subjects of research are going on at the same time. But the thing about this, energy, especially the Dot, is that there is something very profound about it, which means that it has a potential to bring transformation, to bring change in some way. It could be a big change, could be a small change. But it's like a very breakthrough kind of, it's like before the computers came. The information, nobody knew what a computer would look like, right? I mean, it came, there was breakthrough, and then, a huge system was designed. And then slowly, the system started to shrink, as more research and more work kept going into this. The systems kept changing. Even today, so much work is going on in the space economy, in the health economy. There's a lot of research going on, and it kind of changes the narrative. It changes the system. It changes the way things are done. Earlier, like when you used to sit on a computer, there was such big devices, right? Computers were big instruments, and today we can access everything on the phone. So the whole narrative has shifted because of the research. And I feel something like that. It could be something technical. It could be like an invention that you're trying to do. It could be some kind of information that you're trying to get to, which is not available to you right now. But, it's like when the scientists do the research for vaccines or for medicines, and they come up with this breakthrough, that information, now you cannot unknown. But until you know that, until you don't know the information, nobody knows. But once the research has been done, then the pharma can go ahead and create a medicine out of the research, right? Something like that. So it shifts the narrative, and I feel that's the gravity of the situation for some of you. Now, others of you, this could be that you are figuring something out in the sense that, the corporate culture or, the archives and, the reporting or journalism. It's like, for example, if you're at a situation, like, what is the actual situation and what gets reported and what gets released and what becomes of it, how the information gets twisted and churned and all of that, especially if you're in the media or journalism. For some of you, it could be that, maybe the picture is not complete or it's a distorted picture of what exactly happens, by twist of words or by classified information and things like that. So you understand the inner functioning or the depth and the plumbing of the systems, of how things actually work in the real world. And I feel that's why the ribbon is out here, because, it's like something else. Like, for example, if you're watching a news piece, right, and you get the information about, some situation, and when you go to the situation, it's something else completely, and you something else was shown, and here it's completely different. So for some of you, it could be that as well, because, see, Janus is looking in two different directions, right? It's two different ways of looking at things, or two different presentation for a thing. One feels completely different than the other. So it might be the reality of a situation as something else, but it's presented or it has been misunderstood or misconstrued or released in a certain type of way. So it's a little bit of a deeper, darker energy, I won't lie. So I feel that some of you could be in those, could be figuring that out in some way. Now, for some of you, this can also be about things that have been hidden away. A lot of information gets not revealed, like, in the budget, where the spending went, how it went, and, all of those expenses. Not everything can be explained or, kind of produced or, things like that. So, nobody can explain where the money went, but it was spent on what. So nobody has the answer to that. So some kind of information which has not been conveyed, it's there, but nobody knows about it. For some of you, you could be in those areas. You're trying to figure out where the expenses went or where you're, needy or in the finances, or who knows, you could be in any area, but you're trying to figure out, like, what happened to that money or what happened to. Doesn't have to be money, and this is just an example. It could be something else, but you're trying to figure out, like, there's no evidence, there's no proof, and there's no record of it, but you know that it's there, or you're feeling something is there. I'm getting the energy where, like, for example, if you're trying to buy a house, right, and not all homes are listed out there. Some of them are just, hush-hush, and just, internal deals happen for some homes. It never makes it to the market. People never figure out about those homes. So those transactions that are happening behind closed doors or just by word of mouth, where people don't even know what happened to that house or how the transaction happened, who's the buyer, who's the seller, no information, but you know that the home got sold. So it's that kind of a two-faced situation right now, like something has made public and something has been hidden. And you're trying to figure that out for some of you. So in short, it's a vibe where what you know is completely opposite to what actually it was, the situation was. Like, so you're like, oh, I said it was like this, and because you didn't know any better. And later on, when you figure out after doing your research or investigation, you figure out, oh, it was a completely different story. So for some of you, it could be that as well. The next card you have, Aquarius, is the number 10, and it says Flower Spirit. So this is a completely different energy to the dark, heavier energy that you are going through or navigating to. And I feel that there is a very gentle, fragrant kind of an energy, and fragrance in terms of the other things, the people, the nature, the other lighter things that are available to us through this universe. When we go take, this person is actually just, kind of in the cradle, cradling with the flowers. So a very light-hearted energy. And for you, Aquarius, you are 11th house, archetypal Aquarian energy. It's all about intelligence and thinking and vision and creating and achievements and goals and networks. And even the networks are formal networks and, some kind of business networks where it's not the same as personal networks or personal relationships. So I feel this is more about connecting to the people, your friends, neighbors, being part of hobbies and connecting with people over there, going for happy hours and having good time, and just the warm, ooey kind of energy for you, Aquarius. So it's a little bit of a softer energy. Some of you might have some water placements. It's a flower energy. Could be like, you're drawn to flower fields, or you're, working the flower economy, or maybe you're like, looking at homes or visiting places which has a lot of flowers. But, flowers just kind of relax us, they calm us down. The presence of the fragrance and the beauty of the flowers itself, it has a very therapeutic effect on the body. For some of you, it's like to take to those, bring in some plants, or, maybe you are into landscaping and beautifying your home with flowers. But this is also about just being more vulnerable, just sitting out there, enjoying the smaller, finer things, sipping coffee, looking at the birds chirp, reading a book, just being and not thinking or planning about anything heavy or anything too hard. So, yeah, this is like, just the opposite of the dove energy. Is like the actual soul connection is to the smaller things. The actual happiness is in the smaller things. So, a very soulful card out here. For some of you, this could be like you're so tired with that dove energy that now you need to rest. You need to balance yourself out. You need to take care of yourself, self-care, wellness, and you're going to places where there are flower fields, or massages or therapeutic centers and retreats and things like that, because the dove energy was really heavy to process. So maybe after that, this is like, the break that you really need to, a soulful break, I would say, that you need to, to recharge your batteries and just to feel loved, to feel cradled, and to feel appreciated and loved by the people, the things that we sometimes, don't make as much time for. And I feel that now you're kind of feeling that, I should, maybe you want to talk to people you haven't spoken in a long time, or maybe people are connecting with you, things that got left out because you were so immersed in your work, that you had to, prioritize your work and leave everything out. So I feel that you're going back to the things that you had left out or were low on the priority list, and now you're making time for it, which is a good thing. This is the way that we, where the soul finds itself, where you feel like you're cared for, you feel like you belong, you feel like, the happiness can be found in the smaller things and actually enjoying the smaller things. So it's a great energy out here, Aquarius. And the last message you have today, Aquarius, is a message from Cosmos, and it says, concentrate on one thing. Further, it says, next time you start doing something, concentrate on one thing at a time. Start by thinking of all that needs to be done and then making a to-do list. When you get sorted on a task from the list, forget everything else. If you catch yourself thinking of something other than the task at hand, move the thoughts aside and focus on your attention back to what you are doing. Gratitude helps us feel positively present in the moment, and that in turn relieves the feelings of stress. Yeah, so this is a stress buster card. So if anything is distracting you or anything is just taking away your energy, this is something that you can do. It's just focus on one thing at a time. Don't get distracted. That drains our energy, and, things move faster that way. Have a list so that, you're on track. You're able to track your progress. You're able to track the next task. So just, have a list, break your tasks down to smaller, and then just appreciate every however tasks you achieve, appreciate that, be thankful for it, express your gratitude for you being able to complete the tasks, and you will see the progress made will be huge, one step at a time. So great energy out here, Aquarius. Those were your messages, and hope they resonated with you. So thank you guys for joining. Please subscribe and hit the like if you enjoyed the content, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye for now.